Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kinfolk and Nem. Of course, with my kinfolk is Greg, Nap, Jazz, and of course our Nem for the day, Jazz. How you doing?
Hi, Nem for the day.
The
That
name
kind
for
of
the
The
sounds
day.
like
Nem for the day.
You need
That's
to
The
the
stop
Nem.
song.
that one, bro.
I thought
like
you said jazz
Not the
name
name
twice.
for the
Yeah,
day.
you said
you
jazz
did
name.
say
Jazz
my
name
name
twice.
twice,
I said.
and I'm not
I
gonna
said
say
Jazz.
what it sounded like, but let's moving
Yeah,
on.
it sounded.
All right. Well, won't be
Damn,
using that again. Thank you guys.
damn, man. Damn, bro. Just damn.
All right.
That was terrible.
Thank
It's
you.
all right.
Thank you. All right. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And of course, if you are a first time watcher, please make sure you like and share. If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe on Kinfolk and Nem YouTube page and also on the Sports Plug. Let's go ahead and get into our first topic of the night. Ice Cube meets with President Trump. Of course, this is something that's been hitting social media very hard. A lot of mixed reactions amongst the black community when it comes to Ice Cube meeting with President Trump. Hey, who wants to go ahead and get this started off?
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and give it a whirl. As far as I saw he had a interview with Willie D, was it, that just came out, or somebody with a YouTube series podcast.
It probably was really D.
Right. I didn't get a chance to check that out because it was like today or yesterday. But from the information that I've gathered, it seems like Ice Cube is trying to go in there with his platform and his connection and his network and try to set a certain standard for what is necessary for the future of, yes, Black America, but the future of Black America to me is the future of the world. You feel me? So
Right. I feel like a lot of people took it out of context. Like, oh, since he had a meeting with him, like, oh, he's endorsing him or, pushing for him. And he literally said that he has not endorsed any candidate. Like, he want to know what their plans is for the black community.
right.
The issue is the Democratic Party, like, they told him that they had a plan, but they didn't want to talk to him right now. And so that was the big thing. Like, they put him on the back burner and Trump didn't. And so that's where all this controversy came about. But I feel like people just took the story and ran with it. Like, Cube literally put it on his page. Like he said, I have not endorsed anybody.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Greg.
people are really good at.
So I'm gonna go back a little bit to make my point, right? So back in September 11th of this year, there was an article written in New York Times, and the title of it was "Encounters with Black Leaders. Trump has chosen photo ops over substance." The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I feel like Ice Cube intentions were pure. I think he went there, like Napoleon touched on, to get his stuff out and, try to make sure that the black people are the future of America, because we really are at the end of the day. But Trump uses these black leaders. In the past, he's used Martin Luther King III, obviously Martin Luther King Jr.'s son, Kanye, to name a few people, as pretty much chess pawns on a chessboard to just say, hey, look at the black people. We have these nice black people that endorse us, right? They're not endorsing him, but he uses them as a pretty much a tactic
Right.
to get everybody to know, like, hey, these black people are talking to us. Ice Cube, one of the most notarized black people, black leaders, the people that speak for us, people that do stuff in our communities, right? You put these people in front of our faces and say, look, these people are having meetings with Trump, which meaning that, hey, they're with Trump. They're probably not with Trump, but the average casual person that's watching social media or watching the news channels, they don't know that. So that's why you're getting all this outrage about Ice Cube getting canceled and all that shit. But really, he doesn't have to be canceled, but it's just a bad look, in my opinion. I think if you're going to have a meeting with Trump, this man got to sign a non-disclosure agreement or something, bro, because you got people like Eric Trump tweeting out, making Photoshop shit of 50 Cent and Ice Cube with Trump hats on and shit like that. Like, bro, like, it got to be some type of way where you can get Trump in a room by himself, make him sign a non-disclosure agreement and say, hey, this is between me and you, this is between me, you, and your committee or whoever you have around us, and let's have a private conversation about what you can do for the black community. If you don't do that, you're gonna have situations where people are saying that you need to be canceled because you're meeting with Trump. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Shout out to my boy, that man Dooley, checking out on Facebook. He says they both wanted Q to be part of their campaign. Both parties called Q. He didn't endorse anybody. Yes, we did say that. One article I did see, I don't know how true it is, but they did say that he tried to meet up with Biden, and Biden actually denied the meeting. So
Right. And
both
it was
parties,
more like
both
put him
parties
on the
did
back
not.
burner.
Yeah, both parties did not actually endorse. I'm sorry, actually meet with Ice Cube. Only President Trump. And here's the thing: we as black people all know and understand and realize that we're not going anywhere. Okay, we're not going back to Africa. We're not going to Canada if Trump wins 2020. We're not going to Mexico. We're not going to Germany. Okay, we're going to be here in Texas, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in Michigan for the next 4 more years. Okay, so with that being said, us as black people, we have to figure out and find a way to continuously get better, because as of right now in 2020, this is probably the best time to be a black person if you really think about it. Okay, and I'm not saying everything is great in the world. I'm just saying, with the tools that we have, the information that we have, the way that the world is nowadays, we have to take full advantage of what we have here, with or without Trump at the helm. And if we have somebody like Ice Cube that has been the forefront of black empowerment since his NWA days, I'm going to ride with him before I ride with Kanye, because of everything he's done for the black community since day one. So for somebody like Ice Cube that actually has a platform on Twitter and does not wild out like Kanye, and has set the record straight since day one of how he felt about Trump, has met with Trump, talked to him, and can have a plan to move forward, I trust Ice Cube way more than I trust Kanye West.
Yeah, I definitely trust Ice Cube more than I trust Kanye West. I give you that off top. I've not trusted Kanye West since I don't even know, to be honest.
Hell, I haven't
But
trusted Kanye since the Yeezus album. That album was trash.
Ish, what you over there smiling for? What you got? I know you got something on your mind.
Nah, I don't got anything on my mind. I agree with what Greg said. I know he had well intentions and everything. For me, though, this just plays as an example of just wanting a seat at the table, not really paying attention to what the cost is. Like, you just wanted to be at the table so bad. Kanye needs to leave the drugs alone and get rid of Kim. Oh my! why we doing this to Kanye right now, man?
This ain't kill Kanye hour.
I don't know. Kim got that fat ass.
That's why I stopped.
Stop, Greg. Stop.
But anyway, I just kind of feel like he wanted a seat at the table so badly that he didn't actually think about the consequences or the optics of what it was going to look like and how they were going to use that or manipulate it. I feel like if you're going to do business with people know the person you're doing business with, right? So like, if I'm gonna go talk to you, I know you reached out to both parties, and only the Trump administration actually wanted to sit down and talk with you at this time. I feel like, if you're not clearly going to endorse them, you're not clearly going to say like, yeah, you talked to me, so I'm gonna back you or something, then you need to do your due diligence to make sure that they don't twist that narrative to make it seem like that's the case, which obviously he didn't do, because now we got this firestorm coming out and people questioning like, oh, did he endorse Trump, so on and so forth. Now we got the Photoshop pictures coming out. It doesn't help that 50 Cent came out and started endorsing Trump openly, and they're grouping the two of them together.
And I'm happy you brought that up, because that was the second part of this topic that I wanted to bring up as well. And we'll go ahead and segue into that. 50 Cent endorsing Trump. How do everybody here in the group feel about that?
It is what it is. I mean,
I'm not surprised.
It's a business. It's a business move. 50 Cent is a businessman. He wants to make business moves. He wants to He wants a seat at the table with those with those people. And I think I've heard a lot of people. 50 Cent is not the only person I have heard that they have said for business purposes, for tax purposes, whatever. Like, yo, I'm rolling with Trump. I'm a minority, but I'm gonna roll with him because it's gonna look good for me in my pockets. So. It is what it is.
Go ahead, Greg.
In regards to the 50 Cent part of it, I pretty much gonna echo the same stuff that Ish said. 50 Cent is a money hungry son of a bitch. Just to be honest with you, that's what I've been seeing, especially since he's not very good musically anymore. He's doing whatever he can to, investment wise, to show Power, all the spinoffs from Power and stuff like that. I think he has another show coming out, so. Dude just pretty much just trying to make sure he sits at the table, like you said, with all the other money-hungry people in this world.
Let's also not forget. I don't mean to cut you off, Greg. We are in Texas, and I don't know if you guys have remembered or seen on social media, but he's also been done his bottle tour all throughout the state of Texas for the last year, coming to Houston and Dallas, and like I said, doing these signings of his new liquor and whatnot.
Doctor, right?
No, it's actually a new brown liquor. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but I will do my research right quick. But like I said, he's known since day one when he came into the rap game as somebody that is about his money when it comes to the video games, the merchandise, the clothing, everything that 50 Cent came out when he first jumped onto the scene in the rap game. He's been about his money. So for 50 Cent, like Ishmael said, to endorse President Trump because of business purposes wise, we have to understand as black people, white people aren't the only people that have money in the United States. Black people, Hispanic people, Asian people have money where they're not looking at President Trump as, oh, he's a bad guy, I can't vote for him. They look at him as, hey, he's going to help me save money. I don't care what everybody else thinks. I'm trying to make sure I save my pockets for make sure I take care of my family. Go, Jazz. Like, you got something on your mind?
Backtracking a little bit. I don't feel like Cube was in the wrong of making the meeting. I don't feel like he had those intentions or anything, or he wanted a seat at the table. Like, he literally wanted people to just show and prove that they had a plan for the black community and not just like try to get out and like get the vote with no actual plan. Like, what are you going to implement? What are you going to do? So I don't feel like he just wanted a seat at the table or have his name in the sauce. I felt like it was all pure, like real. And it's just who Trump is and the type of society that we live in, that people don't do their own homework or research and everything is at surface value. As far as 50 Cent, by no way am I endorsing Trump, but I'm like you said, as far as a businessman, perspective, he gonna go with who gonna make him the most money, and that's just that on that.
No, I definitely agree. And just to give everybody a heads up, that is Branson Cognac. If you guys want to check out that 50 Cent Cognac, Branson Cognac VSOP. If you want to check out that brown liquor, go ahead and check out some 50 Cent, liquor out there. I don't sip on brown no more, so I'm gonna leave that alone. And at the end of the day, the election is coming. It's what, about 3 weeks now, less than 3 weeks.
The election is here. People are voting, and I don't know why people not showing numbers. Maybe I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But people have voted already.
In Texas, from early voting, there's a lot of records have been broken in Texas when it comes to early voting. So
first 2 days we broke records.
People are voting. It's just, you already know how it is. People gonna wait until November 3rd. It is what it is. People gonna wait till that last second, and they had 3 weeks. They had 3 weeks to vote. They gonna wait till the last second to do it.
It's gonna get real because they have to wait for all these mail-in. 50 is starving to stay afloat.
Of course, shout out to Dooley again. He says 50 is starving to stay afloat. This man has filed bankruptcy several times. His investment's trash. Branson Cognac is trash, and Power is on his last legs. Well, I'll say this: if that is the case, then obviously 50 Cent and President Trump has something in common when it comes to having businesses that go into bankruptcy. So
I would just say that filing bankruptcy isn't
it's not a bad
necessarily
thing.
always a bad thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Thank you,
that's
Ish.
a business move,
It is.
and
Thank-
you hide
thank you,
your
Ish.
money that way. But
Yes,
will you keep doing it?
that's something that I think the word bankruptcy sounds worse than what it actually is when you pull back the curtains on it. And there's a lot of words that are like that in our English dictionary that sounds one way, but in reality, when you actually see the definition of it and see what it actually what it is about, then you find out like, man, it's not really a bad thing. I'm not saying bankruptcy is not a bad thing, but for business purposes, a lot of people are able to use bankruptcy leverage wise for their next business.
It has a negative connotation when it doesn't necessarily.
Thank you, Jazz. That's the word I was looking for. I appreciate you very much.
Hey, I'll say this real quick. So, like, how Colin Kaepernick, how he said, like, I'm not disrespecting anything military. This is what I'm doing this for. It's the same thing with 50 Cent. Like, nobody cares what his reasoning was, but they're gonna see what they want to see in it, and they're gonna paint their own perspective, and that's what's gonna get shot out in the media. The media is going to portray what they want to portray, just like they're doing right now. So, I mean, Ice Cube. I think I said 50. Ice Cube.
Okay.
Yes, in there with good intentions, but nobody cares.
Wait, we talking about Cube this whole time, right, bro?
I know. I said 50. I said 50.
Okay.
This nigga, I swear. Ishmael Syrian, I see your ass.
Hey man, stop using my full government name on the podcast, bro.
I don't care, nigga. I don't care. I 6'9" your ass, nigga. Ishmael Syrian, nigga, was making a face
with an eyebrow like.
Well, we all know who we don't want to go to jail with.
That's my fault.
Yep.
All right. But like I was saying,
But yeah.
Wrap it up. Let's go wrap it up so we get to the next topic.
Nobody cares. So, I mean, you can have all the intentions you want, but y'all go ahead, man. I'm just whatever intentions you want to have, it doesn't matter.
Finish it up.
What? Let me talk, man.
Finish.
Let the man talk.
Listen, I gave y'all your time. Don't rush me.
Bro, say what you need to say, bro.
I let y'all talk the whole time.
I'm quiet, bro. Go ahead, bro. I'm quiet, bro. Go ahead.
I'm in my microphone. Y'all got it, man. Y'all got it.
Nah, bro. Go, bro. Go. Everybody waiting.
Me too. You go. Segue into the next subject. Go ahead. What you got?
Alrighty then. Since we're acting like kids, this next topic is actually perfect because when you turn 18, you become technically a full adult. And the big topic on this day is, should Americans be forced to join the military at 18? Pretty much this new generation type of draft. The reason why this topic came up, I think, is because let's be real. I think this generation and previous generation, the reason why they get ragged on a lot is because the generation prior to them was forced into war because of what was going on in the United States. So when they had to go to war and come back, what it seems like a lot of those people are a lot more appreciative of their country because of them having to fight for it in whatever way, either men or women doing it overseas or, of course, in the United States. When I was in South Korea, the South Korean military, you actually have to serve in the military for 2 years when you turn 18 years old. There are certain countries that force you to actually have to serve in the military when you are born in that country. So even if you move away from that country, you actually have to come back at 18 years old, do your military service, and then you can leave again. And from the people that I've met that are in Korea that, again, remember, everybody male-wise have to serve, a lot of them appreciate the country a lot more and are more disciplined, more mentally, focused and ready to achieve anything that they want to achieve going forward because they know that they've pretty much put in their work for 2 years, right? So again, the topic at hand is: should Americans be forced to join the military at 18?
I personally do not feel like anybody who is going to die for their country, like if I'm allowed to go to the military at 18 or you forcing me to go to the military at 18, I should be able to vote. Like there's no way in the world I should be able, you want me to put my life on the line for this country, but I have no say so in anything that's happening. Like, so
I have a question. I have a question. Who said if you join the military you can't vote?
no, I'm saying you can't. I'm just saying, like, I need all the.
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying too. I mean, you can vote when you're in the military and you're 18. You do absentee voting. We did it in the military.
Right.
What are you saying, Jazz?
Jazz had too much wine.
Oh, it's okay. Now, what you could say. I'll help you out. You got a little bubblies in you. I'll help you out. What you could say is, and again, this is coming from somebody that served in the military as well as Napoleon. I wasn't going to join the military until I at least turned 21 because I'll be damned if I take a shot for the United States if I cannot take a shot for myself living in the United States.
I wasn't originally going to join the goddamn army. I wanted to go fly fucking planes. I wanted to be in the Air Force. I wanted to fly jets and shit. But
I ain't talking about you right now. I'm talking about being over 21. I would rather join at 21 than at 18. I understand that aspect of I wouldn't want to join at 18. 21 is perfectly okay. But again, we're just getting at the aspects of if this was a forced draft, say if we went into war and everybody had to go at 18 and whatnot, would you most likely join or would you find a way to get out of it? But again, if it was a draft type of situation, get your butt in there, let's go.
There's really a lot of ways to unfold this, and a lot of things that are problematic. One, especially already with having young people joining the military now with the mixed community that they're trying to bring into male and female. Two, the diversity of people joining at these young ages, especially when you don't want to join, when that's not what you feel like you want to do. And I guess the way that we're aligned as a society breeds war. So I mean, if you really looking into, okay, you're being forced to join the military at 18 so that you can do what? Is it to get the disciplinary skills so that you can come back? Or is it so that you can be a soldier for that country? Or is it both at the end of the day? You know what I mean? Because now all those men in Korea at some point in time, if they go to war, guess what? They have to leave their families. They have to leave wherever they're at. That's every man that's over the age of 18 that's capable and that's signed up. I feel like that's a little bit unfair, and if you go deeper into it, it can be very, very problematic. But
can I be the difficult fool?
Yes, sir.
Like I'm always doing in the Facebook message group.
Yes, sir.
So I got a number of questions for this specific question. So are we saying the current selective service would be thrown out the window and it's just like a straight draft, or are we saying we're going to do a program like in South Korea?
That's a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's on me. My bad. Yes, pretty much just like South Korea. I apologize. Just like South Korea, the where once you turn 18, you have to join either the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines. That
and do 2 years.
Yes,
I think it's hard to do that because of our immigration population. So, like, how many immigrants we have, people coming from all different places. So, like, are we putting a stipulation on as long as you're an American citizen, like, right, you got to do 2 years? Or, I mean, what exactly
is American born?
It would be the same kind of standard that it is now, where you can have foreign citizens go in and they receive their citizenship, if that makes sense.
I mean, that happens already. We've seen that in the military when we
That's
were
what
there.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that kind of wouldn't necessarily be like.
And there are people like Napoleon said, there are people that don't have their green card yet that will join the military to be able to get their papers to be an American citizen.
I mean, if we're saying American born and you must do 2 years of service or whatever, I don't think so. I think we have a large enough volunteer population that we don't need that anymore. We've evolved past that at this point. We got a lot of people that's what they grow up wanting to do. Like, they want to be in the military and they feel like it's an honor, it's a family legacy. Like, I want to represent my country, this, that, and the third. Like, there are a lot of people in our society that is what they, look to do, or they are more than happy to do that. So I think that we don't need that. I think in South Korea you have the situation that you have because that maybe isn't something that you don't have a large portion of that population really willing to volunteer and go do that kind of stuff. So I think in America it just doesn't work. It's not going to work. It wouldn't work. You'd have too many people dodging, too many people doing some shady stuff to make sure. AWOL. You have a lot of AWOL people. We don't need that. A lot of people faking injuries.
Why should I go and fight for a country and put my life on the line for a country that don't care about me?
Oh, yeah, it's way too problematic once you.
But that man, can you put up Dooley comment?
I got you.
Not that one.
I got you.
Not made for those of color.
Stupid.
Okay, this man said he'd rather live in Africa than join the military. Let me just say, if you move to some parts of Africa, you will immediately be in the military.
Now to think about it, both of y'all should know that.
Whether you're a civilian or not, you will immediately be in the military.
You'll be mad.
Now, Brett, you of course are a military brat. Your father, of course, was in the military. How do you feel about this topic?
I think the word force would rub a lot of people the wrong way. Like, just like Ishmael said, we have a great volunteer base, and people who want to do it and grow up their whole lives, want to do it, just like Ishmael said. And I think that if you force people, you're going to give people, for those 2 years, are not doing anything and just making it worse. Now you're actually degrading the military, right? You want to be there, and it being the elite military that it is, right? Now you're watering it down with people who don't want to be there.
Y'all think the military is elite? Well, okay. Well, I need y'all to join yourselves to see. I was going to caveat as well, but go ahead, Nap.
What Brett said and what you kind of said, it is elite in some ways, but and it's supposed to be elite to the American people, especially those elite teams. But just like Brett said, it's already has a certain degradation now, because you have this standard where soldiers that actually are putting in the work aren't getting and are good leaders and are good working with those junior soldiers and getting the younger guys to understand what needs to be done. Those aren't the guys that are staying in. Those aren't the guys that have longevity because of the culture of the military and the mental instability that it causes. You know what I mean? And for someone of that suit, nobody's trying to stick around for that shit. You know what I mean? And when you realize what you're actually fighting for, you're like, I'm not trying to stick around for this shit. So
now to caveat Mike right quick, what Brett and Ish was saying as well, when it comes to the great volunteer base that they have, that a lot of people, you're probably all right on that, but let's remember as well, y'all weren't in, but there are people that are forced to be in because of either you join the military, or you go to jail, or either you can't eat for a week, or you go to military so you can get your three meals a day because of where they come from. They come from nothing, so a lot of people see that as an opportunity to get out. And like what Napoleon's saying, you get into a situation where you're like, damn, I'm in the middle of nowhere and I'm fighting, for the wrong reasons. I'm just fighting. I was just fighting to get me some extra meals, as just a couple extra dollars in my pocket.
That's still voluntary in a sense, though. Like, I understand.
Of course it is.
Like,
of course it is.
But at the same time, it's still voluntary in a sense. So it's like those people are making that decision in order to, take advantage of a certain aspect of the military, rather than what you're saying and what is being proposed is like we're taking these 18-year-olds and we're saying at some point once you turn 18, between 18 and such age, you must serve 2 years. And that to me just it waters down your system because it creates a lot of issues that we then like. Think about the VA system right now. So we gonna change the VA system.
That's I was about to get at that as soon. Shout out to Christine Robichaux for
Now
checking out
all
the
you're trying to do-
broadcast. She said the VA is already terrible. The benefits that people get now would be so much worse if people were all forced to join.
Yeah.
This giving me real Hunger Games vibes, like
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, forcing people to join at 18.
I think
I mean, my bad, Brett, to cut you. I just honestly feel like when y'all hear this, I think it's a shock at first because I think when I first heard it too when I was in Korea, it was kind of like, damn, y'all all gotta join the military. That's crazy. But again, when you see the outcome of it and you see everybody that's in Korea, they're not crazy. They're not beating everybody up. They don't have bombs and weapons and this, that, and the third. All these negative connotations that you have about the military when people get out. They do have a lot of the disciplinary structure that they got from the military. Of course, their military is a lot different compared to ours. So I'm not trying to say it's the same thing. But I think for disciplinary reasons, and that's something that my grandma, shout out to grandma, she also brought up as well. And I think this is just an old head mindset saying that young folks need more discipline, so they need to go to the military or they need to go to this, that, and the third. I think that's an old head mindset thinking because you don't have discipline, you need to go to military, police, this, that, then the third to get straightened out.
But does the military really supply discipline?
Yes.
Depends.
Yes.
I mean,
It does, but it does it supply long-lasting discipline and structure? No, because that's on the person, regardless of like shit that you go through. But you still have a better understanding of what needs to be done. You know what I mean? To be more disciplined and
I'll also say this: when you're in that structure of being in the military, yes, discipline. But like Napoleon said, once you get out of that structure and you go do whatever you want to be a civilian again, you can do whatever you want to do. If you don't want to work out, it's just like being an athlete. When we were playing football, you had to work out, you had to watch film, you had to do this, you had to do that. Once you stop being in that constant cycle of being an athlete, now it's on you to work out and eat a certain way and to do this. That's the discipline. Yeah, you feel that's the discipline that you're supposed to have as an individual, same way as it is as being a soldier and then being a civilian again. That's how it is.
My one last point to this, I think if it was saying, you had to join for 2 years from the ages of like 18 to 30, I think that would be more well received because then you could be like, hey, you choose when you want to go, but you have to go for 2 years. I think then once you hit 18, you can say, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and get it over with, because I know I have to go in for 2 years. Let's go in, do what I gotta do, and get out.
Or you might be in a hard place in your life at 23 and be like, man, I need to go ahead and just make this move, and I can drink too, so I won't get in trouble for drinking.
The other question is, if we do this, are we getting a call back afterwards? After the 2 years?
Oh, that's no. That's a good question, Nap, but I'm gonna say no because again, just for this situation, once you do your 2 years, you're good. I would say the only people that have to get called back is if you are under 30 years old.
Then if that's the case, I would go.
My bad. Let me say. I'm sorry. Under 40. Under 40. I'm sorry. Under 40.
If that's the case,
it's another 10 more year. Yeah, another 10 more year. 10 more year gap.
Then you're messing up the whole system. Because every year millions of people turn 18.
But that's when you make it voluntary if you choose to.
Yeah. So I would say if it's just like 2 years and then that's it, I can stay longer if I want, if I end up liking it. Then I feel like that's a whole different dynamic and saying, "Hey, if we like you, we're gonna call you back.
Yeah.
If you ready, stay ready." That's a whole different dynamic.
Yeah, because real shit, if you tell me at 18 all I gotta do is a little 2 years in the military, I'm gonna get a little skill set, a little discipline, this, that, and third. Bet. All right, let's get it. And I don't have to go back. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So what does that do for the jobs that you get like extra points or whatever because you served in the military?
Well, I'll get to that in a second. Dooley says Sierra Leone's cool. It's Nigeria that's killing everybody. That's Ish people. My people are peaceful. That's what.
I am not Nigerian.
Hey, that's what Dooley said. I didn't say it. That's what Dooley said. He says, by the way, special shout out to my old RA Jasmine. This is Abdul. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's Abdul. It's a TSU connection. You know how I go.
Small world, small world.
Can y'all repeat that question one more time?
I said, what does that do to so as far as governmental jobs? Like you get points preference if you served in the military. Yeah. Which I mean, depending on which side you on, you care or you don't care. But if everybody now has these military points, that waters that down.
Well, again, I guess it all depends on what you want to do after the military. There's a lot of people that don't go to government jobs after the military. I'm not in a government job after I got out of the military. Napoleon isn't either. So, I mean, I understand completely where you're coming from. If anything, that just makes the competition of the job just that much harder, unfortunately. But
something like how long you were there. So, not just if you served in the military, but you served for 5 years. I mean, it's like on a job, if you want somebody that has 5 years of experience, just if you put it that way, it's the exact same.
All right, last comment. Christine says, and then we're going to have a military overrun by men even more than it already is. The female population in the military already suffers enough, but can you imagine if there were many more males? Terrible. Hey, that's here nor there. I mean,
but if we do all Americans, or is it just men?
Look,
I believe it's a male thing.
If it's just men, then Christine, yes, I see your point. But if it's all Americans, everybody has to go. Then
no, I think it's a man thing. Are women supposed to sign up for selective service? I didn't think so.
Well,
I thought they changed it to
I thought they did too.
That it's everybody.
Yeah,
I'm old, so I don't know.
Yeah,
you're not that old.
It's after a certain year, everybody has to sign up for the selective service. It's no longer just men.
Yeah,
I don't know what year it was.
Christine says nope.
Oh,
I have to look at it.
All right, let's go ahead and get on to the next topic for the night. NFL Week 6 recap, of course. If you check out the Sports Plug, you'll see that me and Ish already recapped yesterday. If you want to check that out, you can check that out on that podcast on the Sports Plug. And since we have Jasmine here, we're going to go ahead and start off with her and her Green Bay Packers. Let's go ahead and talk about what happened with the Green Bay Packers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No need for the one finger salute. Just tell us what happened, A-Rod.
That was the
okay. So what had happened was those 2 interceptions. So the first one was like a clear interception. The second one was like a fluke. Nobody expected it. But I honestly felt like they couldn't get their head back in the game after those 2 interceptions. I felt like they felt defeated. And so we went 38 unanswered points for a 38-10 Buccaneers win on Sunday. Unfortunately. And that by no means means that Brady is better than Aaron. It just happened to play that way.
As much as I like me some Aaron Rodgers right now, I'm sorry Tom Brady is ahead of Aaron Rodgers. Just is what it is.
That's a statement.
The question I have is, moving forward, let's get to about week 13. Where do you see your Green Bay Packers? 7 weeks from now, where do you see your Green Bay Packers?
I feel like that was a stumble. I don't feel like that's going to define our season.
It doesn't, but I'm just saying, win-loss, season as win-loss projection at the time? Do you see you guys actually rolling into the right direction? Do you see you guys still
I
trying to
do.
figure out
We had
things on the offensive side of things? Your defense is still coming along. It's not an elite defense, but do you see everything coming along by the time week 13 comes along? Because for a month after that, that's postseason comes along. So that's when I think Aaron really makes his stride around week 13. So I'm just trying to figure out how you feel about the Packers around that time frame.
I mean, I feel like it's okay, twofold. I feel like we've been getting better as a squad as well as with our new coach. We had a strong season last year. We didn't lose people, so I feel like we're only going to get stronger as a team. I feel like the biggest thing with any of the teams is we didn't have a preseason. And so you have all of these injuries and things like that. So that's going to affect who they're playing and how they are playing. But by the time we get to like week 13 and things like that, everybody should be at their best, at their peak. People should be healthy by that point. So I feel like, I mean, we're Green Bay. So it's going to play itself out. There may be a few stumbles here and there, but I still see a winning season. Like, of course, we finished 13-3 last season.
Definitely understandable. Again, shout out to my boy Dooley. He says she's from Michigan, bro. She got to run with the Packers because the Lions suck. Yeah, I ain't forget you was from Michigan. Trust me, Dooley. I didn't forget either. And I get on her all the time about not being a Lions fan. She want to go with the winner. I understand.
No, I mean, that was a conscious decision. I personally, how it happened, I hate the Cowboys, and Green Bay normally puts the Cowboys out of the playoffs. So it was the second year in a row, about 2012, I believe, and that's when I became a Green Bay fan.
It sound like the same time frame did Dez catch it or not. I think that was around that time frame.
It was an 8-8 year.
Yeah. But one thing I will say about Green Bay, I'm not here to get on Green Bay and the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. You say y'all are Green Bay, but when's the last time Green Bay's been to the Super Bowl? 2010. Now that's how long it's been. If you got to think about it, it's been a long time. So if you're winning 13 games, you're not doing it in the postseason. That matters.
I mean, that was just last year. The year before, we had a rough year. Our quarterback was out, was hurt. And I mean, I understand that it shouldn't fall down to just whether or not you got a good quarterback. Unfortunately, 2 seasons ago, that's what it was. Like, I can't say Green Bay is one of those teams who it's not like it's the team. I mean, it is, but like we weren't prepared to like run a whole season with a backup quarterback.
Well, welcome to the NFL where things happen, and backup quarterbacks also win you Super Bowls. We saw that in 2017 with Nick Foles. So I don't want to hear any excuses about quarterbacks. Maybe the Green Bay Packers organization need to stop drafting backup quarterbacks.
Green Bay run.
I'm just saying. Maybe they need to stop drafting backup quarterbacks. I'm just saying.
That was not an excuse because the Saints did perfectly while Breeze was out, and as long
5-0, Teddy Two Gloves.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's just those are the faults that we have as Packers. Like we put all of our eggs in the Aaron basket, and when he got hurt, we had nothing to fall back on. So we did just draft a quarterback. So.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Why are you drafting quarterbacks when you're not drafting some of those eggs to help and not stay in the basket of Aaron Rodgers? I'm not understanding.
You always right.
That wine getting to you, huh? Uh-oh now.
Ishmael, what you got, man?
Help her out, please, over there, Ish. Help her out.
I am just wondering why we listening to this nonsense over here, man. No, all these excuses and all these buts and ifs and whats, and I don't care what you got to say. The Packers lost to Tom Brady.
Let them know.
I said 38 unanswered points. I did not negate that. I didn't. I said it up front.
Y'all the type of team to allow the ugly Bears to come in and beat y'all.
Now you went too far. Now we were talking about the Bucks. We weren't talking about the Bears. Don't.
Y'all gonna have to see them soon.
We will, and we normally play them twice, and we'll win both games. Please.
I mean, you have to play them twice. They're in the division.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying too.
And we win both of them.
We'll see.
Next.
Are you
right.
concerned with the protection of Aaron
We're
Rodgers?
not the only team that played this week, okay?
This is very true. So let's go ahead and get on. Let's get to the your favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys. Of course,
Napoleon,
the
go
other
ahead,
big
come back.
team that's out here, and of course our friend Napoleon Robichaux's favorite team. Unfortunately, did not have a great showing on Sunday Night Football. I'm sorry, Monday Night Football against the Arizona Cardinals.
Horrible.
Yes. As of right now, Napoleon, how are you feeling after Week 6 as a Cowboys fan?
Bro, we're going 8-8.
Eight. You gonna win 8 games?
Not even. We might.
Oh,
not even do
okay.
that. That's just benefit of the doubt. But
That's best
let's
case
just
scenario.
backtrack.
That's the benefit of not having Dak. That's what it is.
Backtrack to the game. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. Come on, dog. 97 rushing yards the whole game. And I know Zeke dropped twice, but I mean,
They're called fumbles.
Don't forget about Dalton throwing the ball 54 times.
Yeah, that
oh
can't
yeah,
happen.
the 54. That's what I'm saying. Is ha. Thank you. We appreciate that.
We know who that comes from.
And how long is Dak supposed to be out?
The rest of the season, sir.
Rest of the season.
He's out for
Right.
the rest of the season, sir.
So we fucking with Dalton for the rest of the season. If he don't get his act together, really, if the team don't come together, because apparently we got all this locker room drama room. I mean,
I agree,
4-12,
Dooley. I agree,
it is
Dooley.
what it is. 4-12. That's fine.
I mean, I say Mac.
And they still gonna make the playoffs.
I say Mac 5 only because it's the NFC.
And honestly, they say if you can't get your house right, then you can't work right. So if they can't get their homes right, which is their locker room, they can't get that shit together in there. Then you know what I'm saying. And how it's gonna continue to translate on the field. You know what I mean? Your quarterback's gone. Niggas is gone. Niggas is gonna be gone. Niggas across the board is going on all teams. Deal with it. Play fucking football. Y'all wanted to play football. Play fucking football. Coach is mad. Oh. Well, shove them the fuck up and play football. But no, I want to fucking be all right. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, please calm down. First of all, this is professional football players. This ain't high school varsity blues no more, son. Boys ain't out here just about to play football for the hell of it. They not gonna do it, all right?
They are playing for the hell of it. That's what this pandemic. Sit your ass down at home and let's take care of these people in this world. Y'all motherfuckers, all these sports. God damn it. Fuck the bubbles.
All right, this is what happens when your football team loses. Because I promise you, if the Cowboys are 6-0, if the Cowboys are 6-0, he wouldn't be feeling this way. Now, shut your ass up. Shut your ass up, and we're gonna go to Gregory Turner and talk about his Houston Texans. Stop now.
Did they get a new coach?
They did not technically get a new coach. They promoted their defensive coordinator to head coach, which was Roman Cornell. Houston Texans played, of course, Tennessee Titans this past week, which me and Ish talked about on yesterday's show, which I dubbed the game of the week. You can argue that with your mamas if you want to, but I feel like that was the best game of the week. And because of the running game of Derrick Henry, that helped us win that game, a divisional game against the Texans. But like I told Ish and Greg, we haven't had a chance to talk about this. I honestly liked the way that the Texans came out and played. I liked the game plan. I love the energy that they had. They really almost probably should have won that game. Now, moving forward, because let's be real, it's looking like Romeo Cornell is not going to be the head coach for the Texans, and that's fine. Who would you want as a Texans fan to be the head coach moving forward?
I'm not sure for the coach. I'm gonna be brutally honest with you, but I seen a name for a GM that really interests me. Louis Riddick, come on down, big dog. Come on down, big dog. We need you as a GM.
Now that would be a home run. If y'all was to get Louis Riddick,
Ismail, don't shake your head. Don't shake your head. It's wishful thinking.
Hey, I agree with what Ish is saying, but to be completely honest, if Cal McNair gives Louis Riddick the reins of Houston as his playground, as a Titans fan, I'll be completely honest, I'm scared. We've seen Louis Riddick build teams before. We've seen him do it with the Washington football team. And also, we've seen it on ESPN when it comes to he said this guy was going to do this guy was going to do that, this guy was going to... hey, he's been right on a lot of different things, and I have no problems giving him an opportunity. Somebody has been correct on years on TV now. Not like he's somebody that's been on TV just been blurting out things like a Paul Pierce or Booger McFarland or whatever. At least Louis Riddick is probably the smartest person on ESPN when it comes to football knowledge. I have no problems giving him the opportunity. Greg, honestly, I think that's a great choice.
He's
Yeah,
smart enough
I mean,
to run away from this job.
That's it.
hey, Ish, shut your ass up. Anyways, um, it's wishful thinking, honestly. I'm not sure what coach wants to come to this mess, but a GM, we need a good GM to come clean this up. As far as the Titans and Texas game, I really don't have much to say. I know it's, I mean, not it's, I know X said that the Texans could have won this game. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, motherfucker. We still lost. So, and with that, Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL. It's clear as day to me. I was trying to, kind of hold off from saying that because he does play for the Tennessee Titans, but Tennessee Titans are one of the most dangerous teams in the AFC, and Derrick Henry is clear cut the best running back in the NFL. That's all I got, honestly.
Like I said yesterday's show, at the end of the day, I don't care about what happened these first 6 weeks. Next week is what matters. When they play against the Pittsburgh Steelers, we will see how good the Tennessee Titans really are next week. Brett Reese, is there anything that caught your eye this week? We know you don't have a favorite football team, but is there anything that caught your eye this week?
How bad Dallas is.
All right, we're not going to beat a dead horse. Is there anything else?
You asked me what caught my eye, and
All right.
how literally how bad as a team right now they are. And that was, I mean, honestly, I was, because my father-in-law, he's a big Cowboys fan, and I have to check on him now every week because make sure he doesn't go hurt himself over here.
Mental health, man. You gotta check on these people's mental health these days.
And I mean, but honestly, outside of that, the Titans are still surprising me. I'm interested to see how they do.
Who is surprised by the Oilers at this point?
Let them keep being surprised. Nah, Ish, I'm fine. I'm fine with being under the radar. I don't want nobody to take us seriously. I'm fine with it.
Let the man explain. Hold on.
No, in Kansas City, we know who y'all are.
I bet y'all do. I'm interested to see how y'all do without Lawan. I know that's a big hit. I know you guys are gonna say like next man up. That's what you're supposed to say, but that is a huge hit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How that looks, especially next week.
Yep. Wrong time to lose them, but hey, like you said, next man up.
This is my AFC Championship matchup. So
really? Yeah, gonna run it back in the AFC Championship. Okay.
I said it last week when you guys asked me. This was my AFC Championship. I said the Chiefs.
He did say that. He did say that though.
Can we boo him? Can we boo him from the lobby?
I am not going to boo you. Nope. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Who are you talking about? We're still talking about the Titans.
Hey, he definitely don't have to mute his microphone for 5 seconds. That was a good prediction.
Please. Because I said that last week.
He did.
He did.
So I'm consistent.
All right, Ish Saigon. Besides the Chiefs, is there a player that caught your eye that you weren't expecting to have a great game that like he did?
Joe Burrow. I've been talking about Joe Burrow for a long time. I've been saying that he's a man. He's doing his thing. He's playing the right way. But for him to jump up on top of the Colts the way that he did, and he and T. Higgins look good. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better person to take over the 85 in Cincinnati. I just think they've got something brewing in Cincinnati with Joe Burrow. He's looking like that man right now. If they can fix some other things around that team, the AFC North could become a dangerous place to play, with the exception of the Browns.
Yeah, we got to figure out what happened to the Browns. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the Browns, let's go ahead and liquidate the team. Get OBJ need to go. Jarvis Landry needs to go. Nick Chubb, please run for your life away from the Browns. Kareem Hunt, please, for my fantasy team's sake, leave the Browns. Baker Mayfield, yeah, you done, my man. Let's just go ahead and liquidate that team, and then they'll figure something else out.
So we were talking about this a little bit on the chat because we were talking about the Eagles at first, and my comment is based on what Greg said. Is that fair because they were playing the Steelers?
What do you mean?
I'm just saying.
What do you mean?
Just
You
what?
play in the NFL. You play a schedule. Like what are you talking about?
Well, I'm asking because we're saying liquidate the Browns. They still have a great record. It's not like
Yeah, they're 4-2.
it's not like they're 0-6.
It's 4-2 after 6 weeks because when in week 15 they might not look like they look right now. So we have to wait and see how this season plays.
0-2 in their division. 0-2 in their division.
And that's what really matters.
They are within the division. But what I'm saying, okay, so back to your point, who have they lost to?
Ravens and the Steelers.
Steelers, right? Two
Yeah.
of the better teams in the league.
What does that matter?
What
To
matters?
be honest,
In order to go to the Super Bowl, they're gonna have to beat one of them, or they're gonna have to beat the Chiefs, or they're gonna have to beat the Oilers.
You're right. But my point was because I was talking about the Eagles and how they look like dumpster juice. I'm going to say exactly what I said, but they came back, and to Greg's point, we were like, "Is that fair?" Because they're playing against the Ravens, who is one of the better teams. So I'm asking, the two losses that the Browns have are against the Ravens and the Steelers.
Okay, the Eagles came back against the Ravens and made it look like a game. The Browns got destroyed. Like
the Browns got killed.
Even in there, they pulled their starting quarterback out of the game.
You're
like,
right.
Dude, they aren't even on the same level with these teams that are competing. So what are we talking about?
I'm not disagreeing with you. All I'm asking is saying.
What are you asking?
No, they don't get a discount because they were playing the Steelers. If that's what you're asking, no, they don't.
Okay?
No, they don't.
What, Brett? What, Brett?
If the Ravens, no, sorry, the Eagles.
Please.
The Eagles got first got a discount.
Nigga.
The Eagles don't have a receiving core.
Listen,
they did that with like
get them out of here.
Receivers.
I'm just
Dude,
saying.
Brett, be quiet. No, they don't get a discount. They don't get a discount.
I'm not asking for a discount. I'm just asking. That's a general question.
Well, no. Okay.
Is it
no.
fair?
All I ask.
Do you want me to say it in German? Nine.
All I ask.
Do you want me to say it? Do you want me to say it with my African accent? No.
No.
You dumb motherfucker.
All right. Appreciate you guys for that one. All right. Last topic of the night. Let's wrap this show up for the night with this really interesting topic that I'm gonna have my boy Greg introduce to the people out here watching, because he's what y'all laughing about? He's the one that brought it up. I mean, I think it's a great topic, and I want him to explain to everybody what's going on. So it's yours.
Yeah, put him on the full screen so everybody knows his topic.
Y'all put me on the spot. I didn't expect to be on the full screen.
I mean, you the one that brought this topic up. I want you to explain to everybody.
I mean, there was a clip that went viral of this couple, the Ellis couple, been well known for documenting their family life, and they were talking on their podcast, having discussions about, the husband, Duvall, I think his name is. I probably mispronounced his name. I apologize for that. But he was just pretty much saying like, hey, why do women force monogamy on their husbands when they treat sex like a chore? You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much how the topic came about. On social media, people have their think pieces, and people have their own perspectives and opinions on monogamy and how that's supposed to be ran, and the men's role in situations, the women's role in situations. So that's how this topic came about. Anybody else want to chime in?
Well, that's another reason why I wanted to bring Jazz onto the show, because she's, you're very into these social media topics and whatnot. I know this is something that you've seen and we talked about this situation. So if you would enlighten us on how you feel about it, we would love to hear how you feel about this.
But Greg didn't say his point. He didn't say his stance. Sorry.
He introduced the topic like he was out.
Greg didn't say his stance.
The woman can go first. The woman can go
okay.
Okay, yeah. So I'm probably not the woman to ask, because I'm not necessarily one that has to have monogamy. Like, I'm open to, I don't know why the word is evading me right now, but yes, thank you, Jesus. Yeah, I'm open to polygamy.
She's from Africa.
In the sense that he said it, in the context of that video, I can't understand it, because it was more so like women don't want to have sex consistently or enough to please their husbands. So why force monogamy? And I've never had that issue in a relationship. In fact, it was the opposite. So I don't understand. I can't put myself in that situation. I've never been in a relationship where my partner wanted to have more sex than I did. So
Generally
Greg,
speaking, do you think women monogamy on men?
I don't feel like men. I'm sure, yeah. I feel like women agree more with monogamy than men for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason is, but
do you think it's more of a possession thing, as in when a woman has, has found their soulmate, has found their mate, they feel like since you are with me, you're my possession, you should only be with me, right?
I feel like it's hard. It's like you go through, not necessarily like you go through a lot of men, but you go through a lot of shit that, of course, when I finally find a good one, I don't want to, share or what, Greg? What?
Yes, why
I'm
are you
saying
making
this
that face?
about reformed hoes, my nigga. The fuck?
We're going back
I
to
said
reform
not
hoes.
necessarily.
Oh
No,
my
we're not. I
goodness.
said not going through men. I said going through shit. Like you don't want to deal with it.
Anyway,
Emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence.
can I just say that the way this question is worded is mad immature for one,
But emotional intelligence.
because dude,
I'm gonna let you make it, Judge.
for adults to be talking about somebody forcing somebody to do something like this is mad ridiculous, dude.
Goddamn.
Nobody's forcing you to do anything.
No, it's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. That's
Dude,
bullshit. That's
okay.
bullshit.
Please
That's
explain
bullshit.
being forced.
That's
Please
bullshit.
explain being forced.
Bruh, y'all doing these all
Yeah.
cop out ass answers. Let me
Come
get
on, go ahead. I would love it. I'm waiting to hear this. Let's go. Let's get juicy, baby. Let's get juicy. Let's go.
What was the cop out?
Because if you don't want to go, I got you. If anybody's forced to do anything, society has imposed the standard that we should be monogamous in our relationships. Yes. Is that what you have to do? No, because it's
No.
a free world and you can do whatever the fuck you want. And you're a grown person and you need to communicate with the person that you are doing anything with.
Yes, thank
And once you
you.
decide that I'm in a relationship with somebody, I'm committed to you, me and you, not me, you and her, and him and her. I'm committed to you and her. Then I can't say that somebody is forcing. I chose to be
You made
just
the decision.
you.
Thank you, Napro.
And
Please.
now, if I want to have more sex, we need to figure out what we can do so that we can have more sex. If I want to have sex with other people, we need to communicate with that. Maybe you don't want to be with somebody who wants to have sex with other people. You got to find somebody the fuck else. You got to move on.
Thank you.
Like,
Go, Greg. Go ahead, Greg.
Somebody that want to do what you want to do.
So I actually watched the videos and I actually listened to their podcast in between when they were talking about this. So this brought me back up to the other tweet I made the other day. You shouldn't live with anybody before engagement because at the time the talks about getting married between those two they were already shacking up. So the question became, what are we doing? We've been living together for years now. Are we going to get married or not? That's what the woman said to the man. So I'm not done, nigga. So you can address it after I'm done. So at the end of the day, the woman brought the question to the man with the typical question women ask, what are we? They were shacking up already. So the woman wanted marriage because they were in a situation of what are we? We're just in a relationship living together.
Because usually,
I'm not done. So
my bad.
The woman forces the man to officially settle down and get married.
hell no.
He's not.
She wants to stack up for the rest of her fucking life. What are we doing here, bro?
Okay, so we done now? You done? So you
Yeah, I'm done. Oh,
okay. Greg, so I listened to the whole clip like you was talking about, and he was exactly what he explains to her is that they were, like you said, they were living together. They had been living together for a while, and then she basically wanted clarity on what is this, what are our intentions, where are we moving towards, right? He used the right word for that. That's why I said the way that this is worded is mad immature because nobody is being forced to do anything. He used the right word when he was discussing it with her. He said, I felt pressured, which that is a different story. If you feel pressured to make a decision, that's one thing. She did not force him to make that decision. She did apply pressure by saying, I am not going to be somebody's live-in girlfriend, right? Now, you as an adult as somebody who is mature to make a decision. You're able to evaluate your own feelings, your own, like how ready you are for certain situations. You can then make the decision. If you are not ready for that, you do not want that, then you move on and allow her to go do her thing. But the fact that you felt like you needed to possess her or something, you decided as a person you wanted to be with her and you locked up with her. So you can't look at somebody and say, you can say you pressured me, but you can't say you forced me, because she didn't force him. Like,
Pressure and force are a thin line, dude.
But my thing is, if you want something,
Do not
other
do
than
not do that
monogamy,
bullshit where you jump up and down, nigga. Don't do that with me. Do that everybody else. Don't
but
do
my
that.
thing is, if you want
Because
something,
that doesn't
other
make your
than-
point more relevant, nigga. Don't do that.
Well, if it doesn't, then focus on the object at hand.
Focus
Nigga.
on
Don't
the
worry
object
about
at hand.
shenanigans, nigga. Stay focused,
No,
nigga.
because I'm pretty sure the relationship was going well until she asked the stupid ass question. Oh, you need to marry me. Nigga.
Hey, hold up, Greg. And you know when she asked it,
was
she asked it during the time where everything was going perfect. They was doing some walking on the beach type shit, and then she blurted out that shit at the wrong time. She couldn't have waited until they actually had a sit down conversation and actually had I know she did. I know what she did.
So hers asking him if she's gonna marry him or he's gonna marry her is a problem.
Yeah, that's a
That
problem.
wasn't the ass,
How?
nigga. She
How
said,
is that
"What
a-
are we
how
going to
is-
do?" That's
Yeah,
go.
we've been living together. We've been all right. You should definitely be living together for some time, however much time you want to be. But at some point in time, I got shit I'm trying to figure out. I want to do it, life. I want to do it with somebody. Am I going to do it with you? Am
She
I
even
going to do
said
it with
at the
you
time
over
that's what
here?
she
Like,
wanted.
what do you
She said,
mean?
like, this is what I wanted. This is
I don't
what I felt was
understand.
the natural progression. This is what I wanted for my life moving into the future. So she's making plans as far as this is what I have planned out. This is what I want. Why can't she ask that question?
I got a question. Can we also agree that women usually are naturally at times a little more mature and more ahead of men when it comes to wanting to have certain things before men, as in a family, this,
No.
that. No,
No,
okay, never mind.
no.
the issue is men want to have different shit with a woman who doesn't want anything that you want. Find somebody who want to do the same shit you want to do. Don't try to.
Yes.
Hold up. So you saying So you saying this only men? Women do the same thing too?
No.
We're not saying just men.
What we're talking about
In
is
general.
women force monogamy on men. Everybody needs to know what they want. And so if you don't want monogamy, don't be with the monogamous person.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
No,
It's not that hard. This is not complicated.
Listen. Hold on, Jazz. Let me go back to the point of between them two, right, when they were talking. So
Them niggas don't know what the fuck they was talking about. Clearly.
Listen, bro.
I don't know why you keep going back to them niggas. We done cleared the confusion.
You didn't listen to it the whole thing.
I know plenty of what need to be heard. I don't know what the fuck you trying else to say, my nigga, to be honest. This is what I'm
thinking. Napro's ignorance, but
He sound like that old used car salesman trying to sell you that radiator. Boy, I don't know what to tell you, but that shit work though. I don't know what to tell you. Move that shit down the street though.
I don't know what the fuck Napro talking about, but anyway.
I don't know what you talking about, nigga.
Well, if you let me speak and not cut me off,
you bullshit is what you're doing.
You still cut me off. You
right, nigga, because you bullshit.
Oh my gosh.
I love Wednesdays. I love it.
All right, I'm good.
Thank you, douchebag. Anyways, at the end of the day, I think the problem of so it's okay for a woman to bring up, let's get married and all this shit, right? So before they got married, they were having crazy amount of sex, right? The woman has kids and all that shit. Now she doesn't want to have sex anymore. That's where the point of forcing comes into the play, because the nigga is thinking the same shit he's gonna get before they got married is gonna be the same shit when they get after.
That's not a force, still.
And
that is a fucking force, nigga.
I'm going to chime in on immature. You need to understand that women's bodies go through a lot of.
I don't hear that shit.
They have you don't want to hear that. That's the real. That's the real. So you can't cut you off.
God damn, Greg. Oh Lord.
That's a terrible point.
Oh
Lord. We're talking to children.
Actually, no, it is not, because you said she had kids already. They were already having a lot of sex. Maybe she doesn't feel like she wants to have sex and with her body, nigga. She
And
can
she
make
deserved to
that
get cheated
choice.
on if that's the case. She
Oh
Wow.
Lord.
Wow.
Greg about to get us. Greg about to get us canceled.
We're
Oh
definitely
Lord.
getting. We're
Greg gonna get
definitely
himself
getting canceled
canceled.
on
I'm
that
getting.
shit.
She deserved
Jesus
to get cheated on.
Christ.
The fuck?
Legal age for
Jesus
non-cheating
Christ.
is sex.
Y'all
Bring
let
y'all
Trump
bring
get.
y'all
Y'all
ugly
said we're
selves
gonna
back
get
to the
y'all
damn
canceled.
camera.
Deserved to get cheated on. It's
Trump
already
can.
said she got cheated on, so he already beat me to the punch, nigga.
My
Okay,
thing
yeah,
is,
because he couldn't understand that that's what she wanted at the time. That's not what he wanted. So he branched out and did something else that technically, because of their relationship, is a form of betrayal to them
That also
because
has to
that's
do
the
with
understanding that they
communication.
have.
That
Right.
has to
I
do
feel
with
like this
communication, right?
question is
Like,
a cover up. This question is a cover up for what you really wanted to say was that men should be able to do not necessarily be monogamous when they're not getting as much sex as they want. That's what it should say.
Yeah, that's what it
Because
sounds
that's
like.
really what the issue is that once they
that's what
got
it
married,
sounds
he
like.
wasn't having enough sex.
So
So now he
Greg should have told me to write it down like that. I would have wrote it down like that. But
because if I would have got enough sex, it wouldn't be a question of whether or not we were monogamous or not.
Right.
The facts.
Right.
That is exactly what it is.
Right.
Bray, you want to chime in before we get up out of here for the night?
Man, I feel like this whole topic is wild. Like,
Welcome to Kinfolk and Nem, baby.
just like what Ishmael, Jazz,
That's what we
and
do.
Apple say, it's all about communication. If you communicate what you want when you want it, and you guys work that out, like if you can't work it out, then you guys can separate.
Exactly.
don't
Then go
understand
somewhere else.
what's the complication.
I don't know what this man Greg is thinking.
But you also need to be mature enough to know that, like, my sex drive now is not necessarily the same sex drive you're going to receive 8 years from now.
Right. And you got to be able to
I thought when
communicate that
women
shit.
get older, the sex drive go up. Am I wrong?
I mean, but like you, not.
Am I wrong? No, answer the question. Am I wrong?
No.
It
I don't
don't
know.
matter, nigga. You need to stop being general. You need to be talking to whoever you talking to about their sex drive, my nigga.
Thank
But
you.
regardless of what the generality of the shit is, no, nigga, you need to listen because you want some bullshit, my nigga. You upset. You
Cut
upset,
the
my
show.
nigga.
Cut the show. Cut the show. Now,
Christine, just to finish it off for the night, she says he decided to commit and marry her for better or for worse, blah, 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 right? So if he didn't want to be in a relationship where he might not get sex for a while, then he shouldn't have gotten married.
the lack of sex happened after they got fucking married, nigga.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what does that matter? What does that matter? He can communicate with her and let her know that, like, he's not satisfied.
You're right.
And then-
He can
Hey, be
communicate
like,
that
listen,
and
I'm
he can
trying to fuck.
cheat, nigga. Fuck out of here.
You don't have to cheat. What if she's okay with you open marriage?
That's what I'm saying. You could go talk to her and she'd be like, yeah, bring some bitches over. Shit, we gonna fuck them hoes. I'll record them hoes. No, I'm just bullshit. But
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Bring your bitches over. We got the camera. Go put on the tripod.
He made his point. He made his point. He was clear.
We got a couple of toys over there in the back.
I'm just making jokes. But the point is communication, nigga.
But also, just like Nap said, you have to communicate. Or if she wants more sex, you guys gotta talk about it. You guys can bring. I mean, like you said, you can bring in toys. You can whatever y'all gotta do to liven it up. Maybe they'll want to have
The
more.
nigga don't want toys. He want other bitches. Bring
Well,
him
you gotta
bitches.
talk
What
about
the fuck is you talking
Well,
about?
you wanting other females ain't got nothing to do with it. I can't fix
Yeah,
anything.
nobody
There's
forces
no
you to
way-
do anything if that's your problem.
Yeah. You knew you wanted more bitches
You
before you
wanted
got
other
tied
people
down.
to begin with, though. That means you wanted other people to begin with. So if you wanted
No,
an open
that's
marriage
cop out.
or open
Jazz, you
relationship,
You are the queen of cop outs. That's a cop out answer.
Actually, that would be you, Brett.
Cop out
do you
answer.
know what you want, Greg?
Huh?
Do you know what you want, Greg?
What?
What do you mean?
To be taller.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up there tonight. We're gonna end the show on that joke because that was a killer. And of course, Jazz, if you can, please let the people know where they can find you.
Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Hot Tamale. Hot Tamale. That's HAW_TAMALEE.
She don't follow back.
Hey, real quick, if
And,
y'all have any ideas of some topics that y'all think we should do next week, go ahead and hit the inbox for Kinfolk now. If you want to hit the boy GT directly or hit me directly, you can go ahead and do that too. And if you got some, informational resources that we can give to the people to help, financial, educational people that's homeless, people in need, whatever the case may be, you can send that directly to me so that we can go ahead and start making these changes the way we need to make these changes. You feel me?
Let them know, Playboy. We appreciate that.
feel that, bro.
All right. Anybody got anything else to say before we get up out of here for the night?
Yo, wow, boy.
Cheat, please. Cheat if you
I
have
love
to.
y'all niggas. Do not listen to Greg.
Greg is the last person y'all should
Cheat
listen
if you have to. Fuck it.
Know
All
what
right.
you want, say what you want, get what you
New
want.
pussy is always better than old pussy. Cheat, nigga.
Oh my! Oh, we should have ended this a long
Cut
time.
it off.
Thank you, everybody, for checking out Kinfolk, and we'll see you next week on Hump Day, 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. Hopefully, we'll be here with the same cast, and hopefully, we'll not get canceled because of Greg. See you next time.